Speaking of Diddy, love. Okay. Yeah, so closing arguments finished today. The defense has, I believe, rested, if I'm not mistaken. I know his daughters left the courthouse crying. The prosecutors came pretty hard in their closing arguments. They made some valid points about, the racketeering and the RICO, and as far as the trafficking and all of that, it's, apparently it's not looking good. For Diddy, his defense team did get up and state that yes, he was involved in a swinger lifestyle. Yes, he did beat a few women's asses, and yes, he did traffic a few prostitutes, but that is not an organized human trafficking ring. And it's not what they're trying to make it out to be. Like I said, there is $400 million at stake that the government has asked to be forfeited from Diddy, every single dime that he's made over his career. And I mean, karma's a, because if he is convicted, he is facing up to life in prison. And I mean, everything that he's pretty much took from his artist, they're taking from him. But instead, it's gonna go to other federal witnesses and to their, retirement bonuses and, things like that. Okay, so it's just interesting how this we just don't know what's going to happen. But what we are prepared to do is we are going to be doing our own verdict watch while the jury is deliberating. I believe they'll be charged on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, and so we'll be live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Maybe it may start on Tuesday. If they're charged on Monday, we'll go live Tuesday, because I don't expect the jury to be back that fast. That's kind of suspect, and if they are back within an hour or two, then he's definitely going to get out on appeal, okay? Because I saw the jury instructions, I saw the verdict form. It's pretty long, it's pretty extensive, and I just don't see them deliberating overnight. It's probably going to take at least 2 to 3 days, okay? And we will be streaming live on TashaKLive.com. We do have some special guests, some celebrity guests coming through, giving their take. We also going to have some the freak off workers that are going to be coming through. We're also going to let you guys through to give your comments on it, and we're going to run it just like CSNBC, baby. Let's go. The White House are in effect. Now, speaking of Diddy, okay, today during the defense's closest arguments after his defense team closed, Tony Busby does what he does and files 2 new lawsuits in Los Angeles today after the judge said to the jury, now you got a weekend after closing arguments, which I think is crazy that they get a full 48 hours after the prosecution has, done their closing arguments, and his defense team has done their closing arguments, and then the jury gets to go home for 48 hours, and Tony Busby strategically files 2 lawsuits today on Friday that are going to be major news, and guess who's gonna go home and read in Google after being told by the judge not to do it? The jury. And they're gonna be like, I know all these people aren't lying. This just cannot be real. Why are these people coming after him? It's gotta be some truth to it. They're going to Google, even though they're being told not to. It's in our nature. The internet is right there. You think these people ain't finna be on their phone? I would. Absolutely. All that negative press that was going on about me, you didn't think my jury was reading it? You goddamn right they was reading it. Guilty! I said, fuck y'all. I ain't got it. Anyway. Okay, so apparently a man, a couple women filed a lawsuit against Sean and his son, okay? The light-skinned son, the one with the curly hair. Christian. Is it Christian? No, Christian, the dark-skinned one, Justin. Basically saying that they were, I guess, at a party, and they were invited to a party, and they were given drinks and held against their will, and apparently his son took their vaginas while they were drugged, and Diddy watched. So I don't know the full specifics of the lawsuit. We want to pull it because even when they were dropping, and I say this to say because, you know, when the headlines come out with the, you know, with the lawsuit and, you know, of course, lawyers are giving statements, they're going to make it the most salacious. But once we get into the specifics and details like we did on his other client, we're going to realize that some shit just ain't adding up, okay? And so we're going to go through those lawsuits next week during our verdict watch and our jury and while the jury is deliberating, and we're going to go through those specifics. Now, the second lawsuit, the way they kind of wrote that one is similar. This is involving a man. And the man says that I guess he had met a driver at a gas station that said, hey, there's a Diddy party up the road. Do you want to go? He says yes. He gets in the limousine with the chauffeur. The chauffeur takes him to the Diddy party. They take his phone and all communication, give him a drink. He gets, you know, allegedly drugged from the drink. And the next thing you know, he goes into a room to lay down in the mansion. And the next thing you know, Diddy is on top of him talking about, are you ready for this Diddy love? Oh, I said, Tony Busby, ain't this the same thing that your female client said? That she had, it was the gas station thing, and she had met a chauffeur, and, you know, and then she was in a room, and these celebrities were all watching her get pounded down and did nothing. And now there's a male worker that's coming out stating that he saw Diddy climbing on top of him and buttoning his belt, and he couldn't fight back. And they sodomized him. Talking about, you ready for some of this Diddy love? Oh my God. We're gonna pull all the lawsuits. And Tony, you know the world watching you now, like for real. He ain't nothing but a personal injury attorney. He's just like Tyrone Blackburn. He just the white version of him, Italian version of him. I don't know what he is, okay? Yeah.